Hey guys, welcome back to another What If. Today we're doing part 1 2. What if female Naruto was a Kumo shinobi? And if you're like, hey, what about part 2 to what if Team 7 changed genders part 2? Well, I decided to do this one instead of that. So, tough. Though, of course, I don't often, obviously, ignore the polls to do whatever I want, but I thought this one may be a better suit than that one. So, yeah, that's why I'm doing this one instead. Yeah. Anyway, so Naruto, or at least while we're here. So how would Naruto either get to Kumo, or would Naruto be born in Kumo? Well, Naruto wouldn't be born there, though he would be moved there. Oh, well, not moved, more like taken, kidnapped. Anyway, though, that should be the night of the, the Hyuga incident in canon, though, the person that would try and kidnap Naruto, not Naruto, the person that tried to kidnap Naruto would obviously, though, see a somewhat young, just, like a, young, pretty much yellow-headed, child, all alone with 3 visceral marks on each cheek. So, then you'd watch this girl go into you'd somewhat look around and see that the girl was getting glares at, and even mutters of somewhat demon, or demon brat, demon monster, and the only thing that registered in his mind that would make sense was that she was the Cherokee to the nine-tailed fox. After all, Konoha had, 4 years ago, on the 10th of October, had been attacked by the Nine-Tails, and in the 4th Kage sacrificed his life, seeing so-called killing it, but though obviously Kumo, better than anyone else, would understand that you can't really go a tailed beast. So, instead, obviously, they knew that they obviously probably, sealed it. But yeah, and well, so he would somewhat go up somewhat to the somewhat would watch the kid from afar, somewhat slowly following it, and the person would somewhat think of, should he kidnap this girl, and run the risk of her not actually being a Cherokee, or going and actually, kidnapping a Hyuga, where he could get in major trouble from the Raid Kage, because he's going behind A's back, the now current Raid Kage. Or does he go kidnap this girl who could possibly be the Jinchuriki to the 9,000, whereas he would be, and you could very much obviously tell the Raid Kage how they treated her, and she may even speak up herself about how she's treated in Konoha, and may be able to get off with a scolding, or something else, or something else, but at least not the death penalty. So you'd think about it as you'd somewhat just go screw it, you'd continue somewhat watch her as you'd go for a bit before before you'd finally just somewhat speak up, and you'd somewhat stop, turn around quickly, and would somewhat be somewhat scared as you'd somewhat back away, saying as you'd put his somewhat hands up and go, whoa, I'm not gonna hurt you, kid, what's your name? As you'd go, Naruto Uzumaki, what's yours? He'd tell her his. I don't know who it was because he, obviously I think died. Yeah. No, he'd tell him his, and they'd somewhat talk for a little bit with him getting more and more confident the more she talked, and he would somewhat then ask if she wanted to come with him back to his own to his he would somewhat ask would she like to leave here and come back to where he lives. I'll just somewhat look at her as he would quickly rephrase it to would she somewhat like to come back to somewhat Kumo, a different, say, village, and should ask if this somewhat Kumo place also had ninjas, as she wanted to be, a shinobi, a ninja, who'd somewhat quickly nod, and should then ask if she'd be hated there, and he would say no almost immediately. So she'd think about it for a couple of seconds before somewhat nodding, and from there they would go off. Well, yeah, you'd then somewhat you'd somewhat grab hold of her and would somewhat lift her up and carry her and just immediately obviously take a beeline out of Konoha back to Kumo, and while 2, 3, 4, 5 days later he'd arrive back in Kumo, and that was the Reikage was doing like any other Kage, signing somewhat paperwork, as there'd be a knock on his door as he'd just somewhat that he would shout come in, as the person would somewhat come in, as he'd quirk an eyebrow as he'd wonder what on earth this person who he'd sent to Konoha had come back with a child of all things, as he'd somewhat quickly think he didn't, as they would talk for a while before the Reikage would just somewhat sigh, as though he'd look at the somewhat child as though he'd tell the person that he could leave, which he would, though he would be punished, which he'd just somewhat nod. So he'd leave and he'd look at the child and would ask what her name was. She'd say that her name was Naruto Uzumaki, with the Reikage asking if she knew who her parents was, which she'd shake her head no, and of course Reikage would muse that the only Uzumaki, or at least known to him, was in Konoha, and that was Kushina, as that, and considering that she looked, or at least she's, though seemingly she looked somewhat like her mother, had the appearance of her mother, her eye and hair colour was definitely of her father's, Minato, as he'd somewhat look at her and would somewhat tell her, I may know who your parents were, Naruto, though I didn't know them personally. should just somewhat nod and yeah, though though those obviously speak for a while as should tell of her life and cone her, and that she would have always been called demon, demon brat and whatever, and the Reikage would somewhat amuse, though would somewhat would obviously think that she was had a high chance of being a Jinchuriki, as then there'd be a somewhat knock at the door, as again as he'd somewhat though he'd somewhat say come in, with it being Maburi, Mabui, Maburi, and the fourth Raikage's assistant, or A's assistant, as should go Raikage, Yujito, somewhat Ni and Killer B are wanting to speak to you. He'd somewhat sign he could presume, well, that would somewhat, well, it wouldn't really somewhat flag anything in his mind, as it would just confirm that Naruto here was a Jinchuriki, so he'd just nod and tell her to let them in. She'd say hi and somewhat leave. A couple of seconds later, Yujito and Killer B would somewhat enter. And that would be a somewhat a 4-year-old, just a 4-year-old child with somewhat the Reikage. And obviously though Naruto had somewhat taken up to being somewhat being behind the Reikage's desk, or in other words where the Reikage somewhat sits, though her head was obviously peeking around somewhat the edge of the table. Though Reikage seen this obviously showed just how much obviously the somewhat glares and that and somewhat done obviously to her, and though he would somewhat look at her and go, what is the matter you probably want to talk to me about? Yujito and Killer B would someone like to one another before Yujito would speak up and would state that apparently her and Killer B somewhat that Matatabi and what's his name? And Yuki had felt the somewhat another somewhat like a matriarch of one of their somewhat brothers' family, another tailed beast, but they didn't know who, which one. Though he'd somewhat nod and he'd ask Killer B to put he'd somewhat lean down and would tell somewhat Naruto that these people were nice and were like her. She would somewhat nod and would somewhat walk out, out with pretty much both. With Yuki and Matatabi telling the Jinchuriki that was where they could feel the tailed beast chakra from, but what tailed beast they didn't know. And she'd though somewhat look at her, and she'd somewhat slightly go somewhat inch back in, and Yeah, though after a somewhat quick introduction, um, yeah, and Reikage also somewhat filling them in, and yeah, yeah, and well, yeah, so, and yeah, they would obviously tell her that, they were, or at least 3 of them were what's called a Jinchurikin, would explain what that means, and that she would, obviously being somewhat from Konoha, she would have the 9 tails within her, and yeah, and they'd obviously explain that it's pretty much impossible for obviously a tailed beast, a massive amount of chakra, to just die. It was impossible. You could only seal it, and after a lengthy explanation, should somewhat get it, and or just understand. And yeah, the somewhat obviously Reikage then somewhat asked the yeah, well, we'd somewhat asked her to show somewhat Naruto around, as he would have to look for a place for her to somewhat stay with somewhat Yujito speaking up and staying, and would very quickly state that she could stay with her if Naruto wanted to look up, and would some obviously why that would somewhat ask that if she actually wanted her, which would just somewhat obviously cause you just to wrap her arms around her, which and she'd say, well, of course, and if and a though the A would then ask Naruto if she wanted to obviously live with Yujito, with her somewhat nodding, and he would then he would then somewhat look at Yujito and obviously tell her that she was her responsibility, which she would just nod at, and with that they would then some of the 3 of them would leave, and Maburi would somewhat then come in. I would say, so Reikage-sama, so do you think the Hidden Leaf Village will try to get her back? As he would somewhat sigh and go, I don't know. After all, she's the 4th Hokage. She's Minto Namikaze and Kushino Uzumaki's daughter, so I do not know Maburi. I do not know, with Maburi being shot, and go that girl, she's the Yellow Flash's daughter. And after all, it only makes sense for him to sell the fox, and to what I've got a gauge of her reserves, half of the fox within her should go away. Half? Like Sama? It's like, yes, he probably used some type of seal that we obviously don't know of, that could split the actual chakra of a tailed beast in half into its yin and yang counterpart, and as such had so the yang or physical half within her, given her immense obviously physical chakra, but also healing potential as well. And obviously, and probably still the spiritual half within himself, with her not having a mother, meant that Krishna did somewhat die, and as such, he'd still the spiritual half of the fox, or yang half inside of himself. So which that means is that I guess I'm gonna have to figure out a way to bring the dead back to life in a couple of years, to once she's got enough reserves to hold back the 4 nine tails, to be able to fully, obviously to combine the both and give her the 4 nine tails. Though for now, I'll somewhat let her I'll just somewhat grow up, though I would tell obviously the Yujitsu to focus more on her taijutsu and chakra control. Though my boots just somewhat nod, and then proceeds to somewhat dump another load of paperwork onto his desk. And with that, weeks, weeks would somewhat go by as a week or so would somewhat go by as Yujito hadn't bothered to somewhat start somewhat training yet, more so just obviously because Naruto was new to Kumo, so it's better to let her get used to Kumo before starting training, though. And though Naruto somewhat had been begging her all throughout the week to somewhat start training, and though she'd finally somewhat give up, and would finally but today somewhat start training her as they'd somewhat just be outside of Yujito's apartment or home or wherever she'd live, and would state that they'd be in a training ground, and she'd state that they are somewhat, or at least for right now they're going to focus on her chakra control, as Naruto would ask what chakra was, and Yujito would obviously explain what it was. And obviously it was the same thing that Toad Beasts are made out of. And and after someone just nod and would ask why they were training, controlling it, as she'd someone explain that Jinchuriki, somewhat Jinchuriki, me and you all somewhat struggle with, we'll have large reserves. Matatabi though would somewhat snort and would go kitten, she has more chakra than somewhat both of us combined. So Yujito would someone just ignore her Toad Beast and would continue to explain to Naruto and why obviously they are practicing chakra control mainly. And she would also state that they would also be training in some taijutsu as well, though mainly chakra control, as the better their chakra control obviously got, the longer they could last in a fight, and the more somewhat obviously jutsus they could eventually somewhat learn due to their higher control over their chakra. And obviously from there then not even months, years would go by, as they'd trained for a good 3-4 years in just chakra control alone. Well, chakra and somewhat taijutsu. And of course, with obviously chakra control getting very much to Jonin level, then into somewhat Armbu, and then obviously then from there into somewhat medical, medicating level, though Naruto herself continued to obviously practice in chakra control, and because she didn't want that to be a weakness of her, that she didn't want to be obviously weak in chakra control, while she had more than enough chakra control. She trained in it still. Then practicing obviously taijutsu as well, with her taijutsu getting up a decent amount as well. And obviously, she'd also went to the some academy as well within somewhat Kumo. And when she was around 8 years old, they'd somewhat she'd Yujito decided that she was she was somewhat old enough to start elemental ninjutsu, because she was nearing, at that time she was nearing medical ninjutsu level chakra control, so why not? And plus she also knew that 2 years after her training in the 9 houses chakra would start. And she'd test Naruto's chakra reserves, chakra affinity, chakra nature. That's it. As it would reveal itself to be somewhat wind with a hint of water added into it, which to her made somewhat a lot of sense, as her fighting style was very much unpredictable. And obviously, as her speed and strength and that increased, her unpredictability increased as well. And and so it made sense, because wind was known to be very much unpredictable, strong, and incredibly somewhat obviously generally seemingly obviously anyway, though they didn't obviously know really much obviously Winjutsu, though they did obviously though they again mainly focused on now obviously besides just chakra manipulation, there was also elemental chakra manipulation for her dual elemental for her 2 elements, wind and water. And and so and of course 2 years after that, Yujito, somewhat obviously the Reikage had told Yujito and Killer B to start training her in the Fox's chakra. So and obviously with that they'd go for the somewhat obviously first, for at least now, or for Naruto, the first time in 6 years would go outside the village, and she would ask why they did they had have enough for which Yujito and Killer B would state no, and that they were going out because they were going to train in the 10 Beast chakra, and that doing it within the village was somewhat too dangerous, especially if she somewhat lost control. And so they were going to do it outside the village, where if she somewhat just lost control of the of the amount of chakra she could somewhat handle, obviously should have two, Jinchuriki that can very much obviously somewhat knock her out quite easily. Should just somewhat nod at that, and yeah, they would obviously somewhat for the next 2 years train her like twice a week in the fox's somewhat chakra. Though it wasn't exactly the fox's chakra itself, it was more of just gaining connection to the fox, getting that connection, and then obviously trying to get some type of deal with the fox, which obviously was somewhat hard with it being the yang half and it being more stubborn, incredibly somewhat stubborn. And yeah, though it did eventually, after somewhat a month of constant somewhat just nagging, like the fox would finally just relent and would finally go, fine, you want a deal, let's talk of a deal. And yeah, she wouldn't exactly obviously smile or chill that, because obviously she knew this was obviously something serious, and while she very much didn't really want to use the fox's chakra, and the fox could obviously very much feel the unwillingness to use its chakra, though, and he assumed that he would try and use it, try and obviously push her into maybe somewhat using it more, though as the negotiations went on, Fox had somewhat realised that she really wouldn't use it. It was a last resort, or with her obviously training in it. So yeah, and the Fox, in somewhat obviously its mind, it wanted a strong obviously Jinchuriki, while with her obviously someone using its chakra as a last resort would obviously be exactly that. She would obviously get strong, and as such wouldn't rely much on his own power, which would mean she was obviously strong. And yeah, though someone obviously agree that she could get, she would have full access to his chakra, though it would obviously be limited to how much she can control at a time, and that obviously if she lost control, it would be her own fault, because she was trying to obviously pull more than what she could handle. And yeah, and obviously as a somewhat result, should somewhat leave him alone, so obviously in peace, so he can sleep, and obviously also to only use it as a last resort. So if she was even going up against someone who she was outmatched, she would have to use her brain first before the fox. And yeah, they would somewhat both agree and shake on the terms, and with that should somewhat leave a mindscape with Yujito, somewhat just move her somewhat with Naruto opening her eyes, and with somewhat yawn as it would be daytime now. It would somewhat being pretty much annoying the fox every night also. So yeah, they were, so once she somewhat got undressed, her and somewhat Yujito and Killer Bee, once they'd meet up, would take obviously Naruto outside the village, and Killer Bee and Yujito would obviously somewhat tell to obviously, the same thing, though she'd state that she'd managed to get a deal from the fox, both of them would somewhat be surprised and would ask how, and she'd simply just go, oh, she'd somewhat just scratch her cheeks, or somewhat exclamation and go, I pretty much just went to it every day, and every time like we went to sleep, I would go to it and somewhat annoy it for that specific reason. Though somewhat Yujito and Killer would just somewhat just shake their heads in amusement. Though yeah, though somewhat obviously, though Matatabi and Yuki could somewhat feel just the slightest sorry for the fox, as they could somewhat only imagine the constant annoyance that the fox must have gone through to actually agree to one. So yeah, they would then ask what the agreement was, and she'd tell them, which would surprise both of them and that Chinchuriki, and that tailed beast. So Matatabi and Kuki, or the Eight Tails. That just how, yeah, and it would obviously register in both of the tailed beasts somewhat minds that fox must have very much been obviously. That must have been very annoying to the fox, for the fox to agree to just have all my chocolate, though you lose control, it's your fault. Yeah. Yujito and Killer Bee were obviously dead shocked, as they somewhat had to they eventually obviously got a partner thing obviously with it, but this was like slightly a step lower, where the fox would obviously help out, but was obviously just one step away from being a partnership, pretty much. It in all means practically was a partnership, and that she practically annoyed the fox into partnering with her. They'd after a minute or so would snap out there something stupid, and they'd then obviously somewhat tell her to feel for a chocolate within her by separate, to feel for a chocolate and to feel for something obviously different that somewhat made feels stronger in a way. And obviously Killer Bee would somewhat stay, and wherever your cell is, that would be the best place to fill for the fox's chakra. And Naruto, knowing it was on her stomach area, would fill for it. Would very quickly, obviously get a connection with her chakra, and would then, after a couple of seconds, would be able to fill the fox's chakra, very little of it, as she'd then grab a hold of it and would somewhat pull on it, and would and she'd somewhat pull on enough as she'd somewhat she'd somewhat open up her eyes, and as though she'd say that she did it, though Yujito and Killer Bee would think that she didn't, though Yuki would obviously state that she didn't, though both tailed beasts would state that she did, and that it was herself. Obviously that was incredibly tight at the moment, thus it was the seal that was preventing her from drawing upon any more than what she currently could, and they'd obviously told both of them to just look in her eyes. They obviously would, and we'd see somewhat red slitted eyes, and yeah, from there 2 years would go by, as though with now obviously above, though with obviously new training with obviously some new chakra, so and she's also somewhat Killer Bee was somewhat training her in also Kenjutsu, as she did somewhat ask Killer Bee to train her in the some art of the sword, which she was more than happy to help her with, as Killer Bee somewhat saw her as a little sister, and as such Naruto saw obviously Killer Bee as a older brother, and she saw Yujito as an older sister, and in some way they were. And she'd also state that she somewhat obviously and she'd also state that she could also feel obviously say Matami and Yuki within side of Yujito and Killer Bee, which they were both somewhat surprised that she could already feel their tail beast's chakra, though somewhat Yuki had managed to talk to the fox, or at least had gone out of the fox that Naruto had a slight amount of tailed beast DNA within her. It just meant that she was a sliver of a somewhat tailed beast. It's whilst obviously Yuki did keep that somewhat. Whilst Yuki did share that obviously with Matami, they both decided to the fox to somewhat keep it quiet, as though the fox more or less Naruto didn't bother to ask the fox why she got whisker marks in the first place. Anyway, and of course, though obviously now being obviously 12, and it being the day of the somewhat gaining exams, or at least for Kumo it was, and obviously though she'd also gained obviously friends in the academy, two of them, one being Omori, Omori, and Karuri. Those two. And obviously, though the somewhat teacher of the class would somewhat start calling out teams, and eventually you'd say Team Samurai would consist of Kari and Omori. From there you'd start off and some other would state some other, the teacher would state some other teams before you'd get around to the final one, which would state Naruto, Uzumaki, would somewhat would be that Yujito. Team Yujito would consist of just Naruto. Though Samurai and Kari being very much obviously best friends with Naruto would know why that was. It wasn't really a close, Naruto didn't really keep it as a close secret, it was just an open secret, pretty much. And, well, yeah, so both of them knew obviously why, and it made obviously a lot of sense after all. She was obviously training to master her Beast's chakra, and Yujito were, very much had, or at least had full control over her transformation. Yeah. And was obviously somewhat good friends with Matsutabi. And yeah. And anyway. So with that, I'm going to somewhat leave this just awkward what if here, guys. Yeah, I wasn't that great, because I didn't really think that far through, as my mind's been on a completely different what if that I don't really know if I exactly want to do at the moment. So anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed this, tell me in the comments down below. If you want part 2, tell me, and I'll put it in the polls for next week. And yeah, guys, have a good day or night, depending on wherever you are and whenever you watch this, and good bye. Good bye.